There is a moment in every seeker-ISS journey when they begin to realize something extraordinary, that life is not happening to them. It is happening through them. Every condition, every experience, every pattern repeating itself again and again is not the product of luck, fate, or divine favoritism. It is the direct reflection of what the mind has silently bound as true. Joel S. Goldsmith called this the law of consciousness. It is not a moral law or a religious decree. It is a spiritual law that functions as precisely as gravity. You are never punished or rewarded by God. You are simply living out what consciousness has accepted as real. Think of your consciousness as a projector. Whatever film you load, belief in sickness, faith in limitation, conviction in lack, that becomes the picture on the screen called life. Change the film, and the picture must change. This is what Goldsmith meant when he said, "You cannot experience anything outside your own state of consciousness." So if we want to change the outer picture, we must stop fighting shadows on the screen and start working with the light that projects them. Every human being is binding something every moment. You are binding thoughts, judgments, fears, and hopes. Every belief that you treat as reality becomes a seed planted in the invisible soil of mind. And because the soil never says no, it gives form to whatever is planted. When you believe that success is rare and difficult, your world mirrors that belief with closed doors and resistance. When you accept that health is fragile, your body obeys that command. When you hold to the conviction that spirit is abundance itself, opportunities and flow appear in ways that logic could never predict. Goldsmith's students often asked, "But Joel, how can mere thought change physical matter?" He would smile and reply, "Because matter is thought, condensed and interpreted through the senses." That statement sounds radical until you test it. Every emotion you feel alters your heartbeat, your breathing, your chemistry. Every belief you hold changes the energy you carry into a room. If that can happen within minutes, imagine what sustained conviction does over weeks, months, or years. The secret is this: consciousness is cause, experience is effect. Cause always precedes effect, never the other way around. Most people reverse the order. They let effect dictate cause. They see a negative circumstance and then bind fear. They see illness and then bind despair. They react to the outer picture instead of realizing the outer picture is only yesterday's consciousness made visible. Goldsmith said, "The outer world is a delayed photograph of your inner state. By the time the photo develops, the exposure has already happened." So the work is to expose the mind to truth, again and again, until truth becomes the only reality it recognizes. That repetition transforms the inner atmosphere, and when the inner atmosphere changes, life reorchestrates itself automatically. This is why he never prayed for specific outcomes. He prayed for recognition of divine truth, until it replaced human belief. He knew that once consciousness aligns with truth, the outer form has no choice but to comply. A student once approached him overwhelmed by financial ruin. The man said, "Joel, I've lost everything." Goldsmith answered quietly, "Then you've lost nothing real." He taught him to stop binding numbers, bank accounts, and losses, and start binding the principle of infinite supply. For weeks the man meditated on this idea. Spirit is my source, not matter, not man. One morning he said he felt something snap inside, a release, a lightness. Within days, new channels of income appeared. Goldsmith said, "He didn't attract money. He unbound the belief in lack." That is spiritual mechanics in action. Binding truth is not about repeating affirmations. It's about anchoring conviction. An affirmation tries to make something true. A realization recognizes what already is true. When realization dawns, effort dissolves. You stop trying to believe and simply know. That knowing becomes magnetic. It organizes the universe around it. But be warned, Consciousness doesn't care whether what you bind is pleasant or painful. It creates impartially. If you cling to resentment, you bind discord. If you cling to guilt, you bind self-punishment. If you cling to fear, you bind limitation. The universe doesn't interpret your emotions. It simply echoes your conviction. This is why Goldsmith emphasized watching the subtle agreements of the mind, the small inner yes we give to fear without realizing it. Every time you say, "That's just the way it is," you are binding it. Every time you think, "This will never change," you're tying your own hands. So how do we reverse it? Through conscious unbinding and deliberate rebinding. Start by noticing the inner sentences that define your world. Catch them in real time. Then withdraw agreement. Don't fight the thought. Just recognize, "This is not my truth," and let it dissolve. Immediately establish the spiritual truth in its place. Not by force, but by awareness. If fear says, "You're not safe," replace it with, "Spirit is my safety." If lack whispers, "You have nothing," answer, "The source is infinite, and I am one with it." If sickness claims, "You are broken," no, "Wholeness is the law of my being." At first this feels like work. Later it becomes reflex, a natural state of alignment. There is a subtle rhythm to spiritual creation. You bind, then you rest. You speak truth within, then you let silence confirm it. You stop checking for results because you know results are inevitable. This is not passivity, it is supreme confidence. Just as a farmer plants and sleeps knowing the crop will grow, you rest knowing consciousness will do the work. Goldsmith called this resting in God. The rest is evidence that you have entered conviction instead of striving. Striving says, "I must make it happen." Conviction says, "It already is." Eventually, this practice creates a new center of gravity. Your mind stops reacting to appearances because it knows the unseen is more powerful than the seen. You become stable while others fluctuate. You watch chaos without being caught in it. That stability itself becomes healing to everyone around you. One of Goldsmith's students said, "When Joel walked into a room, arguments stopped. Not because he demanded silence, but because his consciousness carried order. He had bound harmony so deeply that discord found no entry point." Now the same power lies in you. Right now, even as you listen, your consciousness is binding something. Perhaps it's curiosity, perhaps doubt. Both will produce results consistent with their vibration. So choose consciously. When you bind truth, you align with the creative intelligence of the universe. You no longer need to control outcomes. You become the cause rather than the effect. The mechanics are simple. Recognize what you've bound. Every repeated worry, opinion, or emotion is a binding. 2. Unbind what no longer serves. Withdraw belief from fear and limitation. 3. Bind spiritual truth. Affirm it quietly until it feels real. 4. Rest and trust. Know that consciousness is law and will unfold accordingly. Remember, results come with lag time. Physical reality is slow clay, shaped by the quick hands of mind. During that gap, appearances will tempt you to doubt. Do not rebind fear. Hold the line of truth. Patience is proof of mastery. The universe always keeps perfect books. Every thought is an investment. Every feeling compounds with interest. The only question is, what are you investing in, truth or illusion? There is no punishment in this law, only reflection. If the reflection seems harsh, change what you are projecting. If it seems loving, deepen that awareness. You are not trapped by fate, you are sculpting it, and the tools are within you now. As Goldsmith said, heaven and hell are states of consciousness appearing as experience. That means heaven is not a reward, it's a realization. The moment you bind truth consistently, heaven begins to appear wherever you are. So as you leave this lesson, remember, You are the artist and the canvas. The brush is your awareness. Every thought paints a stroke on the masterpiece of your life. Bind beauty, and beauty becomes your landscape. Bind peace, and peace becomes your atmosphere. Bind spirit, and spirit becomes your identity. And when the day comes that you truly understand this law, not intellectually, but as living awareness, the search for power ends. You will know that all power is within consciousness, and consciousness is what you are. If this message deepens your understanding, like this video to help awaken others, subscribe to Legacy Igniter for the next part in this Joel Goldsmith series, and comment below, "I am binding truth and unbinding fear." Bind wisely, because what you bind in consciousness must appear in your world.